Hello my creative friend, Olga Sobi here and welcome to new fluid art creation process, or should I say welcome back to Kelowna with me. So this is the second painting, second video in this series where I create a painting inspired by the sights and all the beauty that surrounds me in the Kelowna, BC. And if you haven't seen the first one, I will link it down below. And the reason I want to share this video with you today is because I just watched the most beautiful sunset ever. So this whole day today, it was very rainy and moody and cloudy, but just before the sunset, some of that sunshine shined through the clouds and it lit those clouds with golden shine. Like literally all the clouds were golden. I was looking at it and I couldn't believe my eyes. It looked like it was AI. Like literally I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this is unreal. And I tried to take as many pictures as possible to really capture all this beauty. And of course, photos, they really don't show the true color or the true magic because it's changing every second in front of you. And I also tried to take as many mental pictures as possible because I tried to absorb this beauty and absorb all these colors and all this magic with my eyes so that I can recreate it on the canvas. So now I'm sitting here, it's already much darker and it's already much calmer, and I want to invite you to teleport to my art studio with me back to Calgary and create a painting inspired by those beautiful golden lit clouds. So see you in a second. Welcome back to my studio. Well, I can tell you that it was a lot of fun mixing all of those colors for this sunset. And I don't even know if I'm gonna use all of them, but I mixed quite a few, some for the sky, some a bit more for shaded parts, and of course for brighter accents of this golden and orangey sunset. So let's prepare the canvas and I'll be ready to get started. My canvas is ready and my secret message today is serenade, just to give it a little bit more romantic vibe. And I want to work on my sky, so sort of a background first. And for that, I want to create a bit of a gradient from lighter, more illuminated blues to a bit darker ones. All of my colors here I mixed with the recipe that I teach inside the Fluid Art Mastery course. And I work with a thin consistency here. I prefer when my paints are thin and dynamic. And if you wonder what is the best consistency for your pouring techniques and how to test the consistency of your paints to make sure it's either thin, medium, or thick, check out my consistency cheat sheet. It's a very helpful free resource and the link will be in the description. I continue creating a gradient of blue colors for my sky, so I'm going here from lightest to darkest, and now I want to make it look more blended and dynamic. So here comes the tilting. Okay, my sky is done for the most part. Now it is time to work on those clouds. So I'm gonna move my blues away and bring in some of the more purples, violets, and yellow with orange. I'm layering colors for my clouds and I'm trying to move from darkest to lightest. I also want to make sure that I avoid the contact of blue and yellow. I'll do my best to prevent this, but with fluid paints you never know, so I need to be extra careful here. I think I'm gonna work in stages here, so I wanna create a bit darker part here, and then once that's done, we'll work on the really bright and golden part down here. Everything looks super beautiful and vibrant, but this one area here, I don't like it because I did ended up having a bit of green from mixing yellow and blue together. So I want to scrape it and redo it this section because I definitely don't want to have any green in my sunset sky. Next, I want to tilt my canvas again. And these blowing techniques, blowing out my clouds, allow me to create very wispy and airy effect. And that generally does work for clouds, but I want them to be even more moving and dynamic. So I want to tilt more to move those clouds and to achieve that more dynamic look. I want the sky to be super dramatic today. Well, I think I am done for now, and initially I wasn't planning to tilt that much, but as I start moving the paint a little bit, I really like this dynamic flow that it was giving it. It looked more like clouds than the blowouts or underwater theme, and I think I have very good foundation for what I plan to do next for this painting, which would be give it more glow and really turn it into sunset. But yeah, this is definitely shifting, and I love this pop of white where the sun goes down. And yeah, I will see you for the next stage when I want to turn it even more into that beautiful sunset. For the step number 1 of my embellishments, I added some glowing effect to my clouds. I want them to look as if they lit up from the below, and I am removing the masking material now, and I invite you to check out my embellishment mastery course if you want to learn about this masking and embellishment technique. My clouds are fully done now, and I decided to add some mountains. And for that I'm using dark blue paint mixed very thickly, so I want to have some texture, and I'm working with palette knife. I really want to create this look of the sun going down behind the mountains like I saw in Kelowna, but of course in my own creative interpretation, so I want to give it my own twist, adding those mountains. And this painting, you know, it's all about sky, not the mountains. So I'm only adding the mountains at the very bottom of the canvas and only in form of silhouettes, because I want the sunset take the stage in this canvas. Now I'm working with the same oranges and purples and yellows that I used in my clouds, and I want to create that look, that last sun rays of the day kissing the tips of the mountains. I also decided to add a few more details and highlights here and there to my clouds to give them even more volume and to make them even more illuminated. And moving on to the next stage of this painting creation. And the initial layer of the mountains is fully dry now, and I want to add some details on top. So I'm working on some final details. And I also want to enhance the look of the sun rays to really making them pointier and more contrasty. And I decided to add more details to the mountains themselves to make sure everything is beautiful, in balance, and cohesive on the canvas. Well, my friend, here is the final result, the very final look after the varnish. And this painting was inspired by one of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever experienced. And you know, I look at this painting and I just think to myself, wow, I made it. That's awesome. I feel very proud of this one. I also feel very connected to it. And it was quite a lengthy process, from the blowout to dirty pour to create the initial design and very dynamic cloudy feel, then to all the embellishments to create this lit effect on the clouds, and of course the mountains, which I added to balance this composition, to ground it a little bit, and also to make this the whole painting more recognizable as a sunset. And I would love to hear from you. What do you think? What do you think about my process, and of course about my result? And right now I'm working on some of the new prints for my art shop. I will be adding some limited editions of some of my most popular and most requested by you paintings as prints. And I'm also thinking to add a print of this vibrant sunset. Please let me know, would you be interested in the print of this particular painting? I would love to hear from you, so do let me know in the comments below as well about the print if you would potentially be interested, and of course, what do you think about my outcome? So, this was the second painting out of the 3 in the Kelowna Nature Inspired series. I am already working on painting number 3. It's coming together very well and it's gonna be very different. This one is very contrasty for color and very dynamic. The other one, it's gonna be more serene and more calming. And of course, I will share the process and the result with you. It will be in the next video, so stay tuned. And thank you so much for joining me today. Take care, create with passion, and till the next time. Bye-bye.